in computer applications. I'm honored to be the anchor for today's webinar. Today we have Mr. Quidjohar Sodawala with us, who is an accomplished UX design manager with over a decade of hands-on experience in crafting impactful digital experiences. Currently leading design at Securonics, Mr. Sodawala specializes in research-driven design solutions within the cybersecurity space, where his work has directly improved user engagement and operational efficiency. His portfolio includes major contributions to products like SOAR, incident management systems, and security command centers, reflecting a strong focus on reducing response times and enhancing usability. Mr. Sodawala's career journey spans from web design and theme development to leading UX strategy and systems thinking at enterprise scale. He is known for establishing complete UX processes from the ground up, mentoring junior designers, and conducting stakeholder workshops that drive product innovation. Outside of work, Mr. Sodawala is a passionate reader of fantasy and thriller novels, an amateur astronomer, and a committed tutor for students preparing for placements. He is fluent in English, Hindi, Marathi, and Gujarati. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Quidjohar Sodawala.
Sodawala, you are muted. So,
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. So
yeah.
thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Ridisha, for that wonderful introduction. So shall I begin with this presentation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can start.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Aditya, sir. Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay. Let me know once it's visible.
It's visible.
All right. Also, please confirm that my voice is audible to anyone without any disturbance.
Yes, yes. You are very much audible. So you can start.
All right. Thank you so much. So, hello everyone. Good morning. So, Ritisha has already introduced quite a lot about myself regarding what my work is. So, just to take it a bit further, I basically work in a cybersecurity organization which is based out of USA, Dallas, and it has its branches here in India, in Pune and Bangalore. So I am currently working as a UX manager over there, and I have around 12 to 13 years of experience, in which my first 3 years were a front end UI developer, and after that, my around 9 to 10 years, the whole experience has been in design aspect. So when I say design, I do not mean the graphics designing part. It is purely user experience research and user interface interaction designing. So, having said that, the session which I have planned for each and every one of you today is titled Emerging Trends in IT. But to tell you the truth, that what it's these this all information is just on your fingertips. If you go on any AI generative application and search this query, you will find all the recent emerging trends, all the current job roles that are currently trending in the world of IT. And not only in the world of IT, if you can narrow it down to Pune or maybe Bangalore or anywhere in India, if you provide the city name, it will give you a proper analysis of which jobs and which domains are currently trending in which area. So, my job today here is not to give you just names. My job is to give you today insights on each and every area, each and every domain, each and every job role which is currently trending, and mostly to answer your questions which you would be having in your mind. So you would be thinking that if I want to jump in on a certain job role, what should I do? Or how should I figure out? How should I search for it, look for it? If you want to, if you have curiosity about certain domains which are currently on, trending, like AI and ML, cybersecurity, all these domains, fintech. So if you have detailed questions, if you have questions regarding those domains, I would like to spend most of my time doing that, having a conversation rather than, just having a linear presentation, because this information is easily available all over the internet. But what I'm here for is to give you deep in detail insights. So what I'm going to do is, just to start with, I'm going to introduce all of you to all the roles that a particular IT company has. Mostly, I would be sticking to two major type of companies that come for hiring, and you would be also looking for jobs after your placement. That is the product based companies in IT field and the service based companies. So these two companies, which kind of roles they have and which kind of jobs, what jobs do what work, that I will start with. And maybe this will help you understand. And going further, well, I will jump into the trends and current jobs. You will better understand that where exactly you would be landing. And to end with, I would just be addressing some myths that are generally in students' minds when they are in their second year or final year. So that those kind of myths I will just address. And finally, I would give certain some of my suggestions that I have in for you. Okay, moving ahead. So just to give you a context of how a software gets developed with okay, I'll just skip this part. You guys know all these things. Okay. So yep. So roles of in a company. All right. So basically, if you will see in any software company, be it product based company, be it service based companies, these are the top process that any companies has to go through. Maybe they are following any model, and currently agile model is very famous. Like most of the companies, 80 to 90% of the software companies which are a little bit also established, they kind of follow agile methodology. And in that agile methodology, these are the steps which work in an iterative fashion: planning, design, develop, test, deploy, and review. Okay. So when I'm going all through all these roles, just keep in mind when I will come to the part where I am kind of explaining and I am kind of giving insights on all the trending jobs, these roles will pop up over there, and you will know where in these kind of modules, where do you kind of fit, where do you want to go. Okay, that was my whole purpose, to show you this so that if you enter into a certain role, which module you will be entering and doing job. Okay, so first is of course the planning part. So whenever a certain project starts, or in a product company when a certain sub module of a product is getting developed, or in a service industry when a certain client provides a certain request for a software, there is always a planning phase. And in that planning phase, the four major roles, job profiles that are involved, those are CTOs, that is Chief Technical Officer. Second is the product managers, or Chief Product Officer, or all the product managers. Third is the product owner. This is an optional because these are more junior roles. And final, it comes UX designer. Okay. So development and testing part usually mostly are not involved in planning roles, but the head of the development, that is CTO, they are involved in the planning part. Now, I would just like to ask everyone that if anyone has any question regarding any role, they can kind of stop me and ask the question. And if you want to give your question in chats, you can do that also, and we will address them later on. Okay. Now, uh, what does each and every role does, I'll just give you a small summary of everything. Chief Technical Officer basically is the top most role in any company, encompassing all, looking after all the development part. Okay. Under CTO, there are VPs and senior VPs and directors and senior directors, and then there are managers, leads, and then developers of all the engineering aspect. So the engineering head basically in any company is a CTO. project manager, or I should say product manager. Project manager is not the right word. I will change this. So the right word is product manager. A product manager is a person who kind of writes all the requirement of that particular product, module, or software. Okay. So product manager basically is the primary person who gets involved with the customer, or with, if they are creating a product, then they will be in in conversation with the founders, and will understand all what is there in the customer's mind and the founder's mind, and they will kind of note it down, all the requirements, and create the documents which kind of lists down the requirement in each and every last point of the detail. Okay. Product owner or junior product managers, they do the same thing. And in planning, the UX designers are present because they are kind of in, when the planning is going on, they are kind of there to understand which aspect of design they will be doing ahead. Okay. So this is basically, in short, the planning role. Moving ahead. Okay. So engineering director and technical managers are just, they're not properly involved in planning, but they have to kind of go ahead and create the timelines of the work. So they are just passive listeners at this point. Okay. Moving ahead, the design part. So in design, there are certain roles which are, sorry. So in design, there are majorly three roles, that is researcher, designer, and visual designer. So when you hear about UX research or UX designer, these are the two main roles which are, the which comes first just directly after the planning phase, because the UX researchers has to do the competitive analysis, then they have to do user research, and then UX designer kind of takes that research and creates wireframes and interactions of that particular understanding. And finally, there is a visual designer who is more towards the graphics design part of thing, who kind of take that particular interaction design and turn it into good looking visual components. Okay. Moving ahead, and I think most of you would be interested in this. So in development part, there are basically, everybody knows there are two major areas, that is back end and front end. Okay. So in front end, currently, if you would ask me, if anybody would ask me, where is the most jobs currently, in which area? So being uh being someone who has been taking interviews since last 7 to 8 years in this job market, I have seen that most of the jobs have been opened in a front end UI development field, and the major technology is React and Node. So I'm just telling you this upfront before going to the trending jobs part. But yes, the first thing which comes to my mind when I see front end is that it is the most kind of hot. It has been hot since 2 to 3 years, because, and I'll tell you the reason. See, this is the part which you won't get from internet, and the reason is that currently most of the product companies which are based in Pune or in Bangalore, they kind of had a legacy software system, or when they started developing. Okay. But currently, after the technologies of, like when AWS introduced its own architecture of data. Okay. When Snowflake introduced its own architecture of data lake, after all these introductions, almost all the companies, they are planning to go from their legacy monolith software architecture to a microservices architecture. I know at this point I'm just throwing these terms at you, and you would be having a lot of question, if you don't know already, like what is a microservices architecture, what is a monolith architecture, what is a legacy software. So I would go. I will only go in details in all of these if someone comes up and asks me, because for now I'll just stick to my presentation. But if you really have questions regarding this, please ask me and I'll answer these questions in detail to you. Okay. So I would say in front end, everything related. Whenever a UX designer stops its work, after that, writing HTML, CSS, doing the initial front end API, build connecting the APIs to the front end screens. Everything comes under UI development part, front end development part. And backend, as you all know, backend consists of many things. It consists of database building, it consists of writing an architecture in Java, Spring Boot, and in many other languages. So, yes, these are the two main areas in development. And the most hottest job after front end UI developer is obviously the full stack developer. And a full stack developer is someone who kind of has combination of knowledge of both front end and back end development. Moving ahead, testing roles. So mainly, there has been a trend shift currently in the industry, and that trend shift is that most of the companies, they are kind of moving away from the terminologies of quality assurance name. So what they are doing is that now, if anybody has interest in doing quality assurance and quality analysis, they will also be called as developers and engineers. And this is happening because of agile methodology, which currently most of the companies are using. See, in agile, in the testing phase, it is being stated that the developers which are building for the product are themselves responsible for also testing the product. So the companies do have a quality assurance team, but they are part of the core engineering team right now. Like I know that couple of years back, most of the companies, they had purely two different areas, which were like engineering and QA. QA was, like not considered part of core development engineering teams. But now that mindset has been shifted, and quality assurance roles are kind of considered into engineering, core engineering teams, and they are part of the agile process where they have to work with the developers to and designers to write their test cases in automated environment. Manual testing is kind of getting absolute day by day, and automation testing is on the rise since past couple of years. And I could see that happening in my own company, where most of the testing, 80 to 90% of the testing has been shifted to automation from manual. There are still certain modules that require manual testing, but it is on a decline for sure. Okay, QA manager is someone who manages all the QA employees. We're moving ahead. Okay, so in deploy role, now these are the people who kind of work um, in the deployment area. And when I say deployment, it means taking the software which developers and testers have built and deploying it on the customer's environment. Now, usually there are four main roles over here. That is DevOps engineer, release manager, DevOps manager, and DevOps architect. So if anybody has any interest in these fields, they can ask me and I'll go dig deep into this. Okay. And lastly, moving ahead, review part. So majorly in all the companies, there is a review committee setup, which comprises of mostly, engineering leaders and product leaders. And when a certain module has been completed, there are demo meetings where a certain designer so designers are only involved in these meetings just to take notes if they feel that something which they had designed is not currently correctly being implemented. But these meetings are mainly demos of engineers of what they have done, how they have, like kind of used all the technologies, and is the final goal achieved. So these review committees kind of test that. And this usually happens before every release cycle of the product, so that they could review it, and if they find any discrepancies, then that kind of release of that product is delayed and it is being worked upon. So majorly all the parties are involved in this. Now, knowing all these things, you would kind of have an idea that based on your interests, on which parallel you would land. Okay, moving ahead, now we will kind of jump into all the current jobs which are in trend, and just to let you know that this information is again not hard to find on internet, but why I'm here is to give you, like, detailed pointers on certain specific areas which are more popular and which are kind of less popular, where there are less openings in the market and where there are more openings in the market. Okay, so obviously, as I mentioned before, front end developers. So front end developers has been in demand since last 3 to 4 years, and I could see that this particular trend has not changed yet. See, based on the recession which was hit recently, based on the market downfall, surely the jobs have gone down from what they were a couple of years back. But still, in that environment, if you would ask me that what are the jobs that are still flourishing, so mostly I have mentioned them over here. So front end developer is certainly one of them, because I gave you the reason, right? So the reason is that moving away from monolith or legacy software and going into the microservices architecture, and microservices architecture primarily requires React.js and Node.js to work upon. So that's why React.js developers, that particular job is really on the rise. And it has been on the rise not now, from 2 to 3 years in the market, it has been in the rise. Full stack developers, I would say that they have always been in demand. See, most of the companies, they kind of look for a specific role. Either they look for a backend engineer, or maybe someone with specific job sets. But if you are a full stack engineer and if you can crack that particular interview, it kind of broadens your kind of ways to getting it into different other companies. And you know now I will just step down and come in the context of freshers. Okay, so if you are a fresher, usually you are kind of expected to know everything, little bit of everything, because you kind of don't know when a company comes for a placement, or when you are yourself looking for a job. um, you kind of don't know where you will land. You can land into front end, you can land into back end, you can land into maybe quality assurance. And if you are kind of doing certain courses on certain things which I will discuss further, then you can go and hunt for a specific job. But as far as freshers are concerned, I would say that these kind of jobs are in demand for, maybe I would say, 1 to 2 years of experience. If you can get, then these are the jobs which are always in demand. But as a fresher, you should keep in mind that certain of the skills you should have in you. Like, when I say, when you kind of have in mind that if you've made up your mind that you have to be a Java Spring Boot developer, then perfect. I would suggest you that when you sit in a certain interview, you kind of make that clear to the interviewer that this is the area of your interest, so that they kind of form their questions in that manner. But still, as a fresher, you are kind of expected to know a little bit of everything. Okay, moving ahead. UI UX designer jobs, these are kind of came in trending, I would say, in last 3 to 4 years a lot. Because before that, these jobs were, so there has been a big market shift in mindset. Initially, a company would only hire an experienced UI UX designers. Initially, there were no hirings done for freshers in this role, but I have seen that shift. Currently, many of the design companies that are sprung up, not only in Pune area, but in outside also. And in Pune, you would find many small design studios that only kind of work on in UI UX design part, where they kind of take other software companies as their clients. And not only that, huge companies like Tata Elxsi and TCS and every other huge company, they kind of have their own design studios which kind of hire freshers. So if as a fresher you are looking for a different taste, rather than doing a front end or back end development. This is something which you can look into. But just keep in mind that you have to do a certain course to get as a UI UX designer into the company, because most of the times, we don't have a specific, area where UI UX design is part of the curriculum courses. So you have to do this differently. Now, moving ahead, data scientist and data analyst, and the next one also, that is AI ML engineer. If you would ask me that after front end development, which is the second most trending job, so I would say that that is data science, and more data science is ranked higher, and then AI ML engineers are ranked below that. And I'll tell you the reason why, because you are here for the reason. So the reason for increase in data science and AI ML engineers jobs are that today each and every product company and each and every customer who takes their software to a service company, they have one requirement which I have seen again and again, and those requirements are that I want a chatbot for my product. So this is the shift which, if you kind of use multiple applications on your phone, most of the applications today are going ahead with a kind of chatbot kind of experience, where there is generative AI inbuilt in that particular chatbot, and whenever you use that for anything, you require data analysis and you require data scientists who in backend, they kind of take up all the data of the customers, and they kind of run their LLM modules on them to generate that. So that's why that shift I have seen happening in my company. In last 2 years, we have kind of hired 20 to 25 data scientists and analysts who kind of are currently working on preparing that LLM model of our cybersecurity product. So I have seen this shift not only in my company, in most of the companies. And hence, I would say that data science and analyst is a very hot job currently. Now, most of the people are a little bit confused in what is the difference between data science and AI ML engineer. Okay, so there is a stark difference. So data scientists usually deals with large amount of data, and their job is kind of do scripting, where Python comes in and many other different scripting languages come in, and they have kind of write down scripts to make sense of that data. But an AI ML engineer is someone who kind of works on algorithms to train the module. Okay, so when you say AI ML engineer usually are not concerned about the amount of data. They are just concerned about creating the algorithms that will train that particular data. Okay. So this particular job position opening is also on the rise. And again, as a UI UX designer, data science and AI ML engineer requires you to have that certain skill set, by a certain course, doing a certain course, or maybe doing a certain, like a certification in that area. Okay. Moving ahead. So product management is something which has kind of gained a lot of importance in all the product based companies today. So in any product based companies, there is a system, there is a product management department where kind of they are responsible of building the complete requirement, doing the market research, and writing the requirements of the customers and the clients. Okay. So that's why this particular job role has been on the rise a lot. And let me tell you, salary wise, product managers are paid very handsomely because they are upfront there with the customers, taking up all the requirements. So just remember, if a product after getting developed is not being accepted by the end users, the main like culprit over here is product manager, because they have not given the requirements correctly. So that's why this particular role holds a lot of weight, and that's why the kind of salary packages over here are very attractive. Okay. Moving ahead, cloud architects. So cloud architects basically are very important. I'll tell you the reason, because after AWS, rise of AWS, rise of Snowflake, um, and all the companies now moving ahead in the microservices part, there is a lot of companies who are kind of dealing with huge amount of data sets. And that's why to work on them, you require cloud architects, you require specific certified cloud architects which kind of do specific certifications in AWS, in Snowflake, in other modules. So that's why there has been a rise in this particular area where cloud architects are considered important role, because whenever there is data ingested into our products, it's their kind of job to manage it in the cloud databases. If you again, I'm reiterating this, if you kind of have any questions, or if you want to know any more about any field, you can ask me after our quick session. We'll kind of move to question and answer session. And last is, see, this particular role is been on the rise in past 2 to 3 years a lot, which is security analyst and threat hunters. This role is purely a cyber security field role. Okay. And again, as a certain different roles over here, you have to do a proper cyber security certification course that will get you into this particular domain of security analyst or threat hunters. Okay. So basically, a task of security analyst and threat hunters is kind of use a cybersecurity product to protect their organization from all the internal or external threats. This particular job profile has been in rise because, again, to give you a reason, the reason is that a couple of years back, government of India kind of um, gave out a rule to all the large organizations that if your organization is larger than a certain amount of people, then you need to have a cyber security department in your company. And that has given a rise to a lot of cybersecurity companies and products which have been on the rise. Reason being that all the organizations today who have their employees more than a certain level, I don't know the exact number, but I guess it is around 5,000 or something. So if your employees in your organization are more than that, then you need to have a cybersecurity cell or a cybersecurity department in your company, and you have to use a cybersecurity product. And who kind of works on them? Those are security analysts and threat hunters. Hence, for that reason, this kind of job profile is also on rise. Okay. Uh, so next, what I had is current technologies and domains which are on the rise. But before that, I would just like to pause for a minute because I've been speaking a lot, and I would like to take a pause and like to ask participants or panel if there are any questions from anyone that I would like to, kind of take in at this point.
Okay, sir, I have asked the question like, what is the normal day of any software developer
Hmm.
starts and ends in terms of office work?
Okay, very good question. All right. So your question is, will you please say about what is the normal day of any software developer? All right, cool. So when a software developer starts his or her day, it usually in the morning, they have to go through a Scrum call. Okay. Now, what is a Scrum call? in agile methodologies, daily there is a scrum call conducted by a certain someone who is known as a scrum master. Okay. Now, Scrum Master is someone who is part of the team who manages all the tasks and tickets. Okay. So usually there is a software which is used to manage everything in case of which tickets or which tasks are assigned to which individuals. The very famous software is Jira. Okay, if you would be most probably you would be knowing about this. And like Jira, there are many other softwares, but like the most famous which most of the companies use is Jira, which is created by Atlassian. Okay, so these scrum masters are kind of use this tool, and they are the one who kind of assign the task taking from the manager. Okay, so manager is someone who kind of manages time and kind of give work to all the individuals, but scrum masters are the one who kind of assign that particular ticket to particular individual, and they are the one who track the progress. So they would come up and ask developers that, okay, till what time you would complete this, till when you are, we are end of our sprint, have you completed your task? So for all those discussions in morning, there is this scrum meeting. Okay, in that scrum meeting, basically you have to give your update that what you did yesterday and what are you going to accomplish today, and do you have work for certain upcoming days? Do you have tickets for upcoming days? These are the three questions that basically you have to answer in the scrum meeting. And the scrum meeting are part of small groups. Like in a one scrum meeting, you will never get 30, 40 people. Okay, so there are usually max it goes to 10 to 15 to 20 people, because it has been managed by one scrum master and the manager of that particular team. Now, everybody gets their turn and they have to answer these three questions: what they work yesterday, what they're going to work today, and do they have enough work for upcoming days. If not, then they are assigned tickets. If they have more work, then their tickets are taken and assigned to someone else. Okay, so this is the process how usually it works. After this meeting, you know exactly that which tickets are assigned to you, what tasks you have to do for the day. Okay, now for that, if suppose you are a front end developer, okay, then you have to most probably connect to a UX designer and understand all the design aspects so that you can go ahead and create the UI for that. If you are a backend developer, then you have to kind of maybe write an API or the business logic for it. Now, doing this, there are multiple stakeholders that you interact with. Okay, uh, as I said, if you are a front end developer, you kind of are always in contact with the back end developers to check that you have all the APIs that you need from them. Okay, you are again in connect with the designers, you are connect with your product managers, because the product managers have grooming meeting with the engineering team to tell them that this is what it is a requirement. Then they are connect in with their managers. So there are certain calls which are set up that they will take in their first half from from 12:30. All these calls are which are there, which are going on, multiple things which are going on. Then rest of your day you have to work on your tasks. Okay, and whenever you complete a certain task, you have to again go in that Jira module, close your ticket. Okay, or if you want, if you there are certain tasks which have more, there are certain tasks which has come up, then you have to create tickets for the task assigned to other developers or to yourself. So basically at the end of the day, you kind of check that the task which was given to you for the day, is it complete? And if it is not complete, then what is the bleed over there, till what it and when it will get completed? Because all these questions next day you have to answer in your scrum meeting. So all in all, this is how a day in a life of a software developer goes. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, cool. Is there any other question? Anybody who would like to ask me anything regarding any jobs or anything that you want to ask? Okay, all right, cool. So we will move ahead and we will jump into all the current technologies and domains which are in demand. Okay. Now, certain of the things over here will be repetitive, which I would already have been covered while I was explaining you all, the trending jobs. But now, in the trending domains, this kind of comes up at the top because the AI and ML currently, the reason which I gave you, right? Why the AI and ML uh, jobs are on the rise. Not only the AI and ML jobs are on the rise, but there are certain companies, okay, whose sole purpose is kind of to create AI and ML modules for other companies. Okay, if you will go ahead and search for the of such kind of companies in Pune, you will find many companies whose only job is to write algorithms and machine learning code and the AI and ML tasks, so that they kind of give their services to many other companies. They kind of create that AI module and give it to many other like large organizations. So hence, as a domain, AI and ML is on the rise. Okay. Second is obviously data science, because data science currently, I would give you a small example of my company just to understand why it is important. Okay. um, in our company, we have a cybersecurity product. Okay. And one of our biggest customer is HDFC Bank. Okay. So now HDFC Bank, if you would imagine what kind of data we would be dealing in, okay, we kind of get data of each and every machine and resource that HDFC Bank owns. Just to give you a context, if you would just calculate in your mind how many branches of HDFC banks there would be only in Pune, and in those branches how many systems or laptops or machines would be there. Okay, how many ATMs of HDFC bank would be in Pune city, and I'm just talking about Pune city till now. Just imagine how much of logs and how much of data it would be getting generated, and we as a cybersecurity company have to take all that data so that we can run our enrichment and our processes in that data to take out the data, the important aspects that we want. Like, we as a cybersecurity analytics, we kind of give them the alerts which are happening in their organization. Like, suppose if a certain day someone who is not allowed to attach a pen drive to their computer, and that they do it, so now in all these data logs we have to find out which account, which machine, and at which time that pen drive was attached to that computer. So on daily basis, we have to deal with petabytes of data, and all these data are kind of saved in our cloud. And the data science people come in, and they, all the queries that we do on their system, like on this day, which are the resources that kind of logged in from at night 9 a.m. 9 p.m. to morning 6 a.m. So this is a query. Now just imagine, on all that data set, you have to go and and do the analysis and bring me that data in front of me, that which are the accounts that logged in the night rather than in the day. So that's why, to for these real time scenarios, data science comes in as a very huge domain ask at this point. Okay. Third point is cybersecurity analytics. I could not kind of give more importance to this because I am currently in cybersecurity domain, and I have seen this domain be on the rise since COVID. Before COVID, also there was a buzz of this particular domain, but after COVID, what happened is that that government rule came in, and most of the huge organizations were getting attacked. They were getting hacked, and hence after that, and there has been certain scenarios. If you read news about technology, you kind of know that there are lots and lots of threats and attacks happening in very very huge large organizations. Hence, a cybersecurity analytics domain is being on the rise since a long time. And all the major players, Microsoft has Sentinel, Google has Chronicle, Then IBM has come up with their own cybersecurity platform. So most of the large organizations are entering into cybersecurity analytics now. So initially cybersecurity was only run by small players, small companies. Ours company is also not that huge. It is a unicorn company, but still I would say, having customer share wise, it's a small company. But now all the major players have entered into cybersecurity analytics, and hence this domain has been on the rise a lot. Cloud computing is on the rise for the same reason. Data science, the reason which I explained to you, for the same reason cloud computing is on the rise. Big data, again, same reason. Next is VR and AR. Okay. So uh, after the invention of the AR VR headsets, okay, this particular field have not only been kind of on the rise just for the entertainment purpose, but there are lots of real life scenarios. Because me, as a UX manager, when I take interviews, I get many candidates who have kind of previously worked in VR and AR domain. So I have came to know that the biggest real life aspect where AR and VR is used is in medical domain. So currently, most of the doctors, when they are getting trained for doing surgeries, most of the pilots, and in defense, when people are getting trained in many ed tech sectors, VR and AR is on the rise. Today, in most of the universities, you will see that VR and AR technology is getting used to train students, to train military personnel, to train doctors. So that's why VR AR technology is not only currently related to gaming and entertainment. Of course, gaming and entertainment is a larger section of VR AR, which we already know. But apart from that, designing and developing for VR AR is on the rise. Okay, moving ahead, blockchain. So blockchain, as most of you would know, was on the rise previously a lot, but currently, there is a certain small downfall in this particular section, but still it is running strong. Because the thing is, like, if you know what blockchain is, if you know what cryptocurrency is, then if you are kind of interested, you can look into it. And I'll tell you the reason why this has not been diminished yet. Most of the foreign currency transaction this day also happens in the blockchain and cryptocurrency, and hence there are lots and lots of companies which are still kind of in the crypto, in the blockchain zone. And now blockchain is not only used in crypto. Blockchains is spreading its wings in other domain as well, because basically what is it, it is a secure way channel to transfer data. Okay, so that's why blockchain technology is on the rise. Most of the companies, when they have to transact some secure data, they kind of are using blockchain technology right now. So that's why its relevance still persists. Second last domain, which is kind of important in today's day and age, is obviously Internet of Things. And to give a real life example of Internet of Things is that mostly it has been used in the consumer electrical domain section. Today, if you could go and buy any consumer electrical, or not only in consumer electrical domain, in vehicular, in automotive domain as well. So today, when you see, after sitting in the car, when you are kind of given instructions to the system, and the car does everything that you are doing. In consumer electronics, there have come up lots and lots of kind of various gadgets who kind of work on your command. So that is nothing but the Internet of Things domain for you, where you can give command through maybe your mobile device, maybe through voice command, maybe anything. So consumer electricals, automotive domain, and there are many other aspects where IoT is relevant. So yeah, it is a domain. And I would tell you this because my wife currently works in Tata Elxsi in automotive domain, and I see her daily working in this area. So yeah, this is also something which is on the rise. And last but not the least, it is fintech domain. So fintech domain, I would say that after COVID is kind of gotten a boom where everybody of us started, most of the people after COVID started investing in share market. And after that, this the perspective of fintech domain is kind of changed. There are so many companies who have kind of come up. They are doing work in fintech uh, area, creating new products, which can kind of do analysis on trades, markets, various kind of markets. There are so many companies who have came up which do analysis on insurances and various kind of SIPs which are going on. Hence, I would say that fintech domain and finance domain is something which has been there before, but after COVID, it has taken a rise. There are lots of companies which have come up in this particular domain. And why the reason I'm sticking to all these things, because you would find companies of this in Pune and Bangalore a lot. There are a lot many small huge companies that have come up, and if you kind of do proper hunting on LinkedIn, if you kind of search proper companies on LinkedIn, you would find, if like I would kind of use the sniper analogy over here, because if you want to go in these companies, today it is not difficult. You have to just be a sniper, hunt for these companies, send messages to the people who are in company, send them resumes. And because today there has been a switch, like in tradition from the traditional hiring. In my company, I kind of get messages on LinkedIn from so many final year students who are interested in design. So I usually get messages from MDes and BDes and MCA and some of the engineering students that they want to enter into UX field. And I know that similar to me, there are many of my colleagues who are kind of interested in Securonics. So Securonics is the company that I work in. They kind of get messages from freshers that we want to enter this domain. So today that kind of shift has happened. So if you are planning to go into a certain domain, um, LinkedIn is there and you can search on it. So basically this part of conversation I've kept, I had kept it for my future slides, but yeah, it started over here, no problem. Okay, so just to go on that part, I would like to kind of run through some myths quickly, because I I'm just looking at the time and we only have 10 to 15 minutes with me. So just quickly, I will go through some myths and I'll just kind of say that are these myths correct or wrong. Okay, so first one is only qualified candidates get selected. I would say that this is not entirely true. If you kind of have worked upon, if you kind of have selected one particular aspect, then there would be a company which will kind of take you. Because I know myself, I was not very good at back end development. um, I just focused on front end and that somehow got me placed. So the most qualified or only the candidates who are like getting good grades will get selected in companies. It's a myth. If everybody kind of gets their technical skills right, anyone can get selected. Second is, you will get selected only on the basis of technical skills. Now, this is also a myth because I'll tell you, uh, I have seen many cases where people who don't have great technical skills, but who can sell themselves. And when I say sell themselves, if they could talk it out, if their communication is on the point, I have seen so many candidates who just get placed based on this particular skill. So yeah, if you feel that you're not great, that much great in your technical skills, but if you have communication as a weapon with you, you can get selected. And this is just my part of addressing the myths, because um taking this session, in many other places, these are certain questions that other students have asked me. Okay. So you will get selected only on the basis, or else get repeated. Okay. Only placement through college gets you job. Again, this is a myth, because I just the point which we were talking before, like today, what you need to do is, when you are in college, you need to have a good, simple portfolio with you. And when I say a portfolio, the projects that you are doing in your college, or the project that you are doing individually sitting at home, whatever work that you have done, you should have certain something to portray. Okay, trust me, it kind of gives you an edge over other candidates. So if you are doing a certain side project by your own self, if you are doing your college projects, make sure you are pretty damn serious about it. And if you are certain someone who feels that, is there any other way other than placements, definitely um, going on LinkedIn, hunting for small companies, hunting for certain specific domains, and showcasing your work to them. That this really helps, and I am telling this through my experience. I have seen many, many, many students do this. Many students reach out to us directly, and if their work is impressive, initial work, I'm saying, I'm not saying that you need an experience anywhere, but whatever you have done as your side project, if that is good, people are surely interested in you. Ah, so the last myth is that in a company, quality assurance testing is more important, is easier than the engineering or development job. Trust me, guys, this is a myth. This is not true, because the efforts that goes into understanding the use cases, and now when manual testing is on the decline and automation testing is on the rise, you have to do development. You are writing scripts, in your automation software. So hence, this kind of myth goes away here. Testing is not easy, or not a smaller role than development. From the recent mind shift, things have changed. Okay, all right. So I see that there are certain questions that have popped up. Okay, so we need to wrap this up. Okay, all right. So I think we are good over here. We can stop here. I will kind of end my session over here. I had a couple of slides, but I think whatever I wanted to cover, we have covered. So we are good over here. Um, so anyone from the panelist, is it okay if I take this question over here, or we should stop? Is it good?
You can take a question. The two questions are there from Bansil, I think. So
Okay.
please quickly take that question and then we'll finish it with.
All right. Cool. So what do you think? Will AI take the job? Cool. And the second one is, if no, then why? As ChatGPT and many things can write code front end. Okay. So Benson, let me answer this question. So in our company, by giving you, let me answer this question by giving you a real life example. So in our company, for all the developers, okay, for all the developers, what our company has done is that they have taken a premium version of ChatGPT. Not only that, they have taken other AI tools which are inbuilt in the code editor. They have taken one more AI tool which is known as Marut AI. Okay. So if an AI can take our job, why is our company doing this? See, the whole perspective over here is that you are correct. Okay, let me stop my sharing. See, that you are correct that AI can take our job. You are not, sorry, you are correct that AI can do coding. But the thing is that in an emerging world where the requirements and the specificity of the scenarios is so intricate, in cybersecurity, I see that there are certain intricate scenarios that an AI can only get you to a certain extent. Okay. A code which AI will generate and give you is a modular code which can be fit into many other scenarios. Okay. And most of the companies uh, kind of motivate their employees to use the AI tool and generate the code from AI so that their initial time is saved. So the hassle that they were going to write the code from the scratch, that all the companies wants to eliminate for their employees. So they kind of motivate their employees that you go and generate the code in the AI, bring it in the system. But if you are doing that, you would know that that code is not an efficient code. If you want to write an efficient code with the actual requirement that you want to achieve, you have to kind of make a lot of modifications and refine that code. So right now, most of the people, that what we are doing is that they kind of generate the code from AI, but they do the refinement to the dot T. Because if you would kind of see this thing, not only AI has improved in generating code, but AI is also improved in quality assurance part. Because when your software goes for the quality assurance and testing, there also AI elements are getting used. And when your test cases are, so here the quality assurance team's job is to write and execute very good test cases so that all these like all the problems which can come up, they need to be caught over there. So if you take up a code from AI and if you just use it according to your understanding, your software will fail and it will not pass that quality assurance section because AI is on the both the sides. Okay. So to answer your question, AI will only take your job if you don't know how to use AI properly. It will not take up your jobs, but on the other hand, you have to become very tech savvy and learn most of the generative AI tools which are there in the market. That means because I've seen this from personal experience, and I think that should answer your question, Vincent. Okay, all right. Thank you, everyone. I hope this was helpful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Last order. Ridisha?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please proceed with order. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Pimpri Chinchwad University and the School of Computer Applications, it is my immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for today's insightful webinar. First and foremost, I extend a heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Quidjohar Sodawala for gracing us with his presence and sharing his remarkable journey and knowledge. Your deep expertise in user experience design and your impactful work in the cybersecurity domain at Securonics have not only enlightened our students but also inspired them to think critically and creatively about the role of UX in today's technology driven world. Thank you once again, Mr. Sodavla, for taking the time out of your schedule to be with us today. Your presence has added tremendous value to our event, and we look forward to many more such enriching interactions in the future. Finally, I'd like to thank our faculty, organizing team, and all participants for making this session a great success. Thank you all and have a great day ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ritisha. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.